Well, welcome to the results for our pick a card for the week of Sunday, August 18th through Saturday, August 24th. You are to select card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. When you make your selections, if you comment your card selection by Monday, August 19th, then you will automatically enter to win our giveaway for the month of August, which will be announced at the end of this month. So if you are watching this video on or before Monday, August 19th, make sure you comment below which card group you selected so that you will automatically be entered to win. Now, if you want to skip ahead to whichever card group you selected, there's a timestamp in the description box below to tell you which minute you can skip ahead to. But if you like, please stick around for a couple of very quick announcements. So this week, leading up to today that I'm filming this, has been a very, very busy week, and I actually didn't think that I was going to get around to doing a pick a card for this week, but I actually got a little bit of time, and so I said this is the perfect time to debut a new card. If you've been watching my pick a cards for any length of time, you know that these cards here on the bottom you've never seen before. And this was a new deck that I received some months ago, earlier this year, from a friend of mine and someone who also likes the work that I do, gifted me with a new deck. And so this deck is actually centered on different goddesses in history and mythology. And so you will see when you get to whatever card group that you selected, that we have some new cards here and the meaning of or how the message and the meaning of that particular goddess's story will give you a little bit of wisdom and guidance for this week. And it will make more sense if you're not familiar. It will make more sense once we get there. So I just wanted to let you know that is what is taking place this week. That's a little bit different. And I knew that I probably didn't have a lot of time to record and upload. So this video may be a little bit shorter, but that's why I figured it was the best time to debut a new card so we can all get acquainted. So anyway, so that is what we have going this week. Also, if you click the link that's in the description box below, you can book a personal reading for yourself. These weekly readings are very general. You are not the only one who has selected your card group, so the message that comes across may apply differently to someone else than it does to you. But if you want a specific reading just for you, then I highly suggest that you click the link below and you can book the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading, which looks at all of the planets in your chart and helps you to understand your purpose and who you are. The miniature or the mini version of the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading specifically looks only at your sun, moon, and rising sign. So that's just a smaller version of the full Magic of Me reading. And then I have the general question reading. So if you just have a general question like, hey, I want to go back to school, but I'm not sure if I should, or, hey, I'm considering this new move in my life. If you just have a general question, then select the general question reading. And then I still have available the mid-year reading, which helps you to know your options, your opportunities, and obstacles that are on your path from now until the end of 2019, so you can strategize for your own success. And so that reading is there as well. And on that same link is also the link to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love. And on that same link, you can scroll down to my PayPal and Cash App. There's a PayPal and Cash App button if you just want to leave a donation, because these readings do take time to do. It is a labor of love for me, but I also understand the law of reciprocity. So if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way, no donation is too big or too small. You can do that through PayPal or Cash App. So that is it for today's announcements. Those of you who selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so here is the reading or the results for card group number 1. As I stated in the announcements, the card on the bottom that you see here is coming from a new deck that I've taken some time to get acquainted with, and it is focused on different goddesses. And so this is the perfect time to debut a new deck, and I hope that the messages really resonate with you. When I get to this part here with the goddess cards, I will read the description that comes with it and give some additional insights that's just coming from me as well. The stone that is on top of your card deck is a chrysoprase, and it is a heart chakra stone. So it resonates very well with our heart, love, energy, forgiveness, healing. It works in healing past traumas, childhood traumas, helps in learning how to forgive, and reminding you that forgiveness truly is for you so that you can heal and move on and move forward. It also encourages the truth, helps you to see the truth so that your love is not blind. You know, it's okay to love and to love freely, but so that you're clear on who and what you're loving and why, and not loving through an illusion. So chrysoprase, I really love this stone. If you want to learn more, because there's so much that can be said about this stone, I don't know if you can see it too good, but there's so much that can be said about this stone, so make sure that you Google chrysoprase. All right, so the cards that you received are the 6 of Pentacles, and I'm not sure fully how to pronounce her name. Some of the goddesses in this deck I'm very familiar with, and some I am just discovering and learning more about. Ayx, I'm not sure if any of you know how to pronounce her name properly, because I don't look at these cards before I flip them over. I just, I shuffle, and when I feel led to stop, I stop and I lay the cards down. So this is my first time looking at this card in a reading, but wow, it's such a pretty, a very pretty energy with this card. Very, okay, so it says secrets, and there's stars there. Let me let you see. I'm just taking a moment to kind of feel this card, but very mysterious, very alluring, because sometimes secrets can be very alluring, and sometimes you can be pulled in very deeply before you can fully see the truth, because illusions are alluring as well. That's just what I'm feeling off the top of my head, but I will read actually what the book says about this particular card in just a second. But let me talk about the 6 of Pentacles. So this week, August 18th through August 24th, the 6 of Pentacles is very much a card of balance. Balance, balance, balance. You see the man, he has scales in his hands. And even when he's giving, what he's giving, the scales are staying balanced. And this is a card, whenever I see this card, I know that the law of reciprocity is in high demand for you this week. Giving and receiving is very important. Your balancing of giving and receiving, not just giving and receiving, but really balancing the energy of giving and receiving. Sometimes you can be this person here who has it to give. Sometimes you can be this person down here who has their hands open and is in need of receiving the gift. And so the 6 of Pentacles is really telling you that your energy, mind your energy this week. You really have to mind your energy this week, because you have something of value. Whether it is actual money, whether it is your time, whether it is your gifts and your talents, your knowledge, your skills, your friendship. A lot of times we only value money, and the 6 of Pentacles being an earth card, pentacles correlate to the earth energy. So very about material, the material world, gain, your house, your land, your resources, your money. But there's a lot of things in this life that are of great value that we take for granted, that we don't see as valuable, such as our time. You know, a lot of times we waste a lot of time. Or our friendship. We give our friendship so freely, and because out of this idea that that there shouldn't be a price on love, and those type of ideas, but the price of love should be reciprocity. So when you give your friendship, how are your friends returning that love back to you? It doesn't have to come back the same way that you gave it. So if you're someone maybe who does give financially to your friends, or you lend them money, or you've helped people out and they don't give it back to you exactly how you gave it to them, but maybe they cook you a meal, maybe they invite you over to play cards, maybe they take you out to eat or something, I don't know, but you can't measure friendship in the same way that you give it, but as long as what you're receiving back is something that you need and something that you value, then that's a good and balanced friendship. But if you are giving out your love and your energy in a way that depletes you, and you're not receiving anything back, then this week you were challenged to look at how you are balancing the energy that you give to others. Make sure that I'm really feeling like, make sure that when you give of your love and your time, that is coming from an understanding that you are valuable, that you are worthy, and that you are valuable. And don't give in order to feel validated. Sometimes we want love, or friendship, or we do things for people because we are yearning to be loved. And if that is your motive for giving, like if you're this guy here who's giving out the money, or you're giving out friendship, or you're giving out your time because you just hope that somebody will love you back in return, that is the wrong way to give, because you're giving not because it's the wrong way to give, not because you shouldn't expect reciprocity, because you should. But it's the wrong way to give because you're doing it from a place of depletion. You're doing it from a place of feeling like you're unworthy, or you're a little bit less than. You're doing it from a place of hoping to be validated. See, this guy, when he gives, he can give so freely because he knows who he is. He stays balanced. He can give his resources and not feel like he's depleted. He can give of his time and his energy and his money and not feel like, he's out of balance, or that it takes away from him in some kind of way. Or he can give to them in a way that he's not giving because he needs to be elevated, or he needs them to love him back, or he needs them to sing of his praises. He's doing it because he has it to give, and he wants to give it, and he loves to give it, and he knows who he is, he knows his worth, and he knows his value. And so when you give of your time, energy, resources, friends, money, friendship, money, skills, talents, gifts, whatever that you give out this week, make sure that you're giving it from a solid, balanced place of knowing your worth, not doing it because you need to feel important, or you need to feel loved because you don't feel loved, or you need to feel validated in any kind of way. Give it because you have it to give. But in your giving of it, know that what you're giving is of value. This man knows that what he's given these people down here, this money he's given, he knows that money is valuable. He knows that he could spend that money on himself. He knows he could use that money to buy food for himself or his family, or new clothes, or a new car, get his own buy a new wash machine, or get his own car fixed or whatever. But he's giving of himself to help others. So yes, he's not doing it from a place of needing to be validated, but he is giving from a place of knowing the value of what he's giving. This week, you are to know the value of what you are giving and what you are pouring into the lives of others. And then understand, because when you know that value, then you can understand that you will receive, because reciprocity is one of the laws of the universe. You're not giving to receive, but you know that you will receive. So if you are giving money, time, energy, and resources in a need, depletion of validation, and because you feel depleted of validation or you feel depleted of self-worth, guess what you're going to get back? The same thing you gave, which means more lack of self-worth, more need of being validated. You may think that because you gave friendship that you'll get friendship back, but it's really the energy in which you gave that friendship that is what you'll receive back. So if the energy that you gave your friendship or your talents or your gifts was because you felt that you weren't good enough or not important enough, and so you were doing it to make yourself feel important and loved, then what you'll reap in return is more feeling of lack of love, not good enough. And you can never give enough to a person to make yourself feel good about yourself. So always be mindful that when you're giving of anything, that it comes from a place of value and knowing your own worth, because that is what you will receive in return. You receive in return the energy that you put out, not the actual thing that you gave. Okay. And so that's why so many times people do all these wonderful things for people and they say, I gave him this or I gave her that and she didn't give it back to me. She didn't. Well, why did you do what you did? What was your real motive for doing what you did for that person? Even if it was a good thing. You know, if this man is giving money because he just wants to feel important, or he's giving money because he it's for not necessarily help them, but because of some lack that he feels within himself, then he will continue to reap more lack within himself. And he can never give away enough money to fill that void. All right. So let's go into this card here, this goddess. I wish I could pronounce her name. I'm going to get better at that, y'all. But it's AYX. So let's see what she says. 1 second. All right. The empowerment message says, there are times when you must surrender your need to know. Some things open up only when they choose to, not by demand. Oh, that's not an A, that's an N. I'm sorry. The mysterious and the the mysterious and the unknowable is the domain of the Greek goddess Nyx or Nyx. She shows you the veils that may not part for you at this time. Right now, you're meant to keep on your path, trusting that secrets will be revealed as the goddess Nyx decides. Remain true to your intentions and keep on moving forward. Remain curious and open to what you can discover. Allow your need to know the details right now to fall away and just be present to all that life is offering you. Judge nothing as good or bad, and just be with what arises. Soon the treasure you seek will be revealed, and it will be better and more valuable than you could have imagined. The goddess Nyx knows what is best for you. Trust, and all will be revealed in divine timing. And then the alignment message, just in case you find yourself out of alignment, says, or out of balance, says, the goddess of the night, mystery, and secrets, Nyx, ask you to ask yourself a deep question about denial. What secret have you kept from yourself? Could you be remaining in a relationship that isn't working for you because you won't address the fear of what will happen if you leave or do things differently? Have you been afraid to ask for what you need? Are you in an addictive spiral, thinking one more bite of food or one more glass of wine will make you feel better? Whatever it is that you are refusing to face, the goddess Nyx promises if you do, you will be amazed at the beauty of your liberation and power. She offers you this alignment task for you to engage in rigorous honesty and self-evaluation, coupled with a fierce self-love and commitment to growth. Be optimistic, because the moment you are willing to name your unease, you claim your inner peace, strength, and hope. You can do it. All right, so this is really just calling you to, on one hand, to stay in balance and trust the universe. That, sometimes there are certain things, certain secrets, certain, paths that are being open to us that we don't know. And you have to trust that things are always working for your highest good. But if you're out of balance, right? If you're doing things for all the wrong reasons, if you're out of balance and out of alignment, then you have to trust that, you know, you actually have to go into your own, understand your own motives. What is it within you that you refuse to look at? What fears, what deepest fears do you have? What deepest secrets do you hold that you don't want other people to see? That maybe you are covering up by doing good things, being nice to people, giving your friendship and your time. You're doing a lot of good things on the surface, but what is your true motive underneath that? You know, so if you dig deep and you look at yourself more deeply, then you can move from feeling like you have to do certain things out of need and to be validated, and you can begin to do them from a more empowered space. All right. So that is the reading for the week of August 18th through August 24th. Thank you so much for letting me come into your world this week and share a little bit of wisdom. Make sure that you click the link below if you want to book a personal reading, and comment your card selections by August 19th to be automatically included in the giveaway at the end of the month. All right. All right, greetings and welcome to the Pick a Card reading for card group number 2. If you missed the announcements at the beginning of this video, I encourage you to click the link below to book a personal reading, and to also make sure that if you're watching this on or before Monday, August 19th, that you comment your card selections so that your name can automatically be entered to win the giveaway at the end of the month. And the card at the bottom here is a new deck that I'm using that was gifted to me, and I spent some time getting acquainted with this deck. And it's a deck that is all about different goddesses through history and mythology. And so when I get to this point here, I'll actually read what wisdom that goddess has for you this week, August 18th through the 24th. And I'll also just state whatever I feel. I don't flip these cards over before I turn the camera on, so I don't know what is here. And some of the goddesses in this deck I'm very familiar with, and some I'm just now getting acquainted with. So it will be very interesting to see what comes out of this reading. The stone that you have is a moonstone, and this is actually a red peachish moonstone. Is one of my personal favorites that I have in my collection. It went away for a while. I lost it and then it came back. I found it again not too long ago. And so a moonstone really deals with that feminine energy. So whether you're a man or woman, you know, we all possess that feminine energy, that the parts of us that really speak to our intuition, your receptive, being receptive, and creating from the inside out instead of grinding hard and working hard to create outwardly first, you know. So moonstone really deals with intuition, your emotions, and your moods. So it's a very good stone to have. It's usually a white colored stone, but it's a really good stone to have in helping you to balance your emotions and your moods, because again, whether you're a man or a woman, our emotions and our moods are part of our feminine side of ourselves, and so there's no weakness in the feminine side. Emotions and moods are very powerful, and so and intuition is very powerful as well. So if you want to know more about moonstone, because so much more could be said about it, make sure you Google moonstone. All right. Wow, I do know a little bit about this goddess here, and she is very very much working in that divine feminine energy. Kuan Yin is the goddess that you all receive, and you also receive the Page of Swords. Kuan Yin and the Page of Swords. And so the Page of Swords is a very youthful energy. Whenever I see the Page of Swords, it reminds me of a time like when you first come to know something, or you first get an idea about something, your very first kind of aha moments, and you don't really necessarily know what to do with the information, or what you know, or this new awareness that you have. But just like the guy here, you're ready to swing your sword and move forward and to start moving obstacles out of the way. The Page of Swords is like a fresh start. It's like a fresh new awareness, a fresh clarity. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like new clarity. This week, August 18th through the 24th, may be a week where you come into new awareness, new ideas, or just new information. Some of you, though, may find yourself wrapped up in gossip. Your new information may be something that you heard about somebody, or something you heard on the grapevine. And so that is, you want to be mindful of that as well, because the swords typically deal with mental energy and the movement of information and clarity of the mind. With this being the Page of Swords, though, which is a youthful energy, you may come across information that you don't know what to do with just yet, or maybe information that is premature, that maybe that's why I'm feeling like gossip. So maybe you hear something about someone or about a situation, but you don't know the whole story yet, So you want to be mindful this week that if you're told something, if you hear something, if you learn something, that you don't create a whole story around it or think that you know the whole big picture just yet, because you don't. You're just becoming aware. Make sure that this week, if you hear one side of a story, that you take time to hear the other side, that you don't come to any premature judgments, any preconceived notions, any quick ideas or thoughts about a person or a thing based off very limited information. You want to make sure that you get as much information as you can, or the big picture. But again, with it being the Page of Swords, for some of you, this might just be a time of coming across new ideas and fresh new ideas, and or even being around younger people or children, especially if you're a teacher, or you work in the school system and y'all just getting back to school and you're around younger people. And it's so interesting how much we can learn from younger people. As we go into adulthood and we get older and we think that we know everything. And then when you get around younger people, they children teach as well. You're not the only teacher, but your children or your students or just young people that help you to grow and give you new insight and things as well. So be mindful of that this week. Don't discredit any be mindful of any gossip or not having the full story, but on the other hand, don't discredit any new information that comes from a source that you think doesn't know enough yet to be telling you what they know. If a child tells you something, or somebody younger than you, maybe they're a young adult or a college student or a teenager, and they're telling you something, and they may not be as eloquent as you think that they should be. They may not be saying it, they may not even express it in a way like somebody who is an expert would express it, but it doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about, and it doesn't make their information any less valid. So make sure that any information that comes from a young person to you, or any new insights, or you learn something from a young person, or they show you a new way of doing things, or they play some music for you that they like, or whatever. Take time to listen. Just take time to listen and to learn what you can, because that little bit of seemingly unimportant information, or the information that comes from a source that may be less experienced than you, could prove very, very valuable in the days and weeks to come. All right. And so we're going to go into Kuan Yin. This is a very pretty card. I mean, you see all the pink and gold, and she has on a red robe, and a lot of feminine energy here. So let's see what she says. 1 second. Kuan Yin. Wow, turn right to her page. So the empowerment message for Kuan Yin says, compassion is what's needed right now to help you release perfectionism and defensiveness. I'm gonna get these words right, y'all. The purpose of compassion is to help reduce suffering in the world. So be mindful not to judge yourself or others too harshly as you stumble through life's obstacle course. In fact, tuning into the energy of compassion and kindness almost instantly eradicates the stirred up energy of controlling thoughts and knee jerk behaviors. The Chinese goddess of compassion, Kuan Yin, offers a gentle nudge to ask yourself this question: what would kindness do in this situation? If you approach everything with that in mind, you will discover solutions and new paths unfolding before you. In fact, living with compassion as your guide really changes everything, right down to the products you buy and the foods you eat. Today, make kindness a priority. The world will be a better place, and you will feel amazing as you see the miracles light up where you least expect them. Wow, God, it ties right in. All right, so the alignment message, and the second half of the Kuan Yin message is for when you find yourself out of alignment with compassion. So the alignment message says, are you feeling overwhelmed by all the suffering in the world and you can't imagine how you could make a difference? Do you feel hopeless over how we treat nature and each other? The goddess Kuan Yin knows that this is an important time of reckoning and reordering, but wants you to be careful not to fall into a pit of despair. If you allow the media to fill your mind with a constant barrage of what's wrong in the world, you will become numb and unable to move. The good news is in your alignment task. First, focus your mind locally. Your choice is not to save the whole world, but to bring your attention to where you can help. Even the smallest step toward a greater compassion is huge. Educate yourself about cultural issues and be better and more conscious and sensitive about your choices. Lend a helping hand to someone in need, volunteer your time, and choose one act of random kindness daily to help alleviate suffering. Do what you can and make that count. Always ask in your work, your relationships, and in your community, how will what I do serve others well? Remember, if you don't get it right, you can always course correct. With commitment, you will add more beauty to the world. Everyone is learning right now, and Kuan Yin reminds you to be kind to yourself too as you accept your role in birthing a new world into being. Wow, that is really, really powerful. So with this Page of Swords, the Page of Swords, like I said, could be youthful energy, youthful information coming from a youthful source or someone who is less experienced than you. And some of you may even, when you see it, you may even feel like, who is this person to tell me this? Or you may feel like, wow, I should have known that. How is it that, this child is having to tell me this, or this child is teaching me when I should be teaching them? But that's okay. Kuan Yin is saying have compassion on yourself and don't judge anyone else and don't judge yourself. If you make compassion one of your focal points in every decision that you make, like it said, even down to, the foods that you eat or the places that you go, you will be better guided. You won't be functioning from a place of judgment or fear or, or just being overwhelmed that you're not doing enough. Have compassion on yourself. Do what good you can this week. Take whatever little information that you have, that's good, and do some good with it. Instead of taking little information that you have, like it was saying about a barrage of media, the news and stuff, and feeling like we're in a barrage of bad experiences in the world. And what happens is people will take sound bites and social media clips on one article and build a whole story around it that everything in the world is horrible and going to hell and wrong. You're taking that little bit of information, like I said here with the Page of Swords, taking a little bit of information and building a whole negative situation. But Kuan Yin is saying, instead of taking a little bit of information or a little bit of gossip or, information from somebody younger than you and turning it into something negative, take the little that you have, take the little that take the bit of information that you get from someone younger or less experienced than you and build something bigger out of it. Have compassion. Know that you do have, you do add value to the world, even if all you do is help one other person, or if all you do is just forgive yourself and have compassion on yourself. That is major. Do you know how many people go day in and day out feeling guilty? I mean, all the time, and have and are tied up in perfectionism and every single mistake they made, and they can't even get over their own mistakes to do better because they're constantly condemning themselves. Have a little bit of compassion on yourself this week. You know, talk to yourself as though you were a child. You know, talk to yourself in that way. Like, look yourself in the mirror and be like, girl, you did good this week. You know, or God, you know, man, you did good this week. Like, okay, you know, I didn't cuss my kids out today. I'm so proud of myself. Or I smiled at somebody today. I mean, I know that may sound trivial, but sometimes it's like that. You know, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. All right. So that is your reading for the week of August 18th through the 19th. Thank you so much for letting me share a bit of wisdom with you this week. Make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, get the magic of self-love, or leave a donation if you choose. And until we speak again, I'm wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, so those of you who selected card group number 3, here is your reading. If you missed the announcements at the beginning, I talked about how the card on the bottom here is coming from a deck that I received a few months ago that I was taking some time to get more acquainted with. It's a deck that is based on the different goddesses and history and mythology, and so I decided what better week to jump it off and introduce them into the pick of cards than this week. Some of the goddesses I'm already very familiar with them, and some of them I am just now discovering, so it will be interesting to see which goddess you selected and what message her story has that can help you in this week, August 18th through the 24th. All right. And so, also make sure that you click the link below to book a personal reading. And also, if you're watching this on Monday, on or before Monday, August 19th, make sure you comment your card selections below so that your name can automatically be entered to win our giveaway at the end of the month. And so the stone, even though this isn't really a stone per se, it's a shell, the cowrie shell. And the cowrie shell is very popular in African culture and all over Africa, really, but particularly as we know it here in the Western Hemisphere. Western Africa actually is where we have most of our knowledge of the cowrie shell and how it's been used throughout history. The cowrie shell has been used from everything from currency, because there was value placed on the shell for a lot of different reasons, to fertility. I mean, if you look here, it looks like, you know, the feminine sweet parts. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of times jewelry was made and is still made using cowrie shells as a symbol of fertility, abundance, wealth, and prosperity. And so if you want to know more about cowrie shells and their history, make sure that you Google cowrie shell. All right. So the cards that you received are the 6 of Cups and the goddess Sophia. The 6 of Cups and the goddess Sophia. All right, so the 6 of Cups, every time we see cups, a cups card, it deals a lot with our emotions and our feelings. The 6 of Cups in particular deals with our connection to the past, our emotions that are connected to the past. How do we feel about our childhood? Do we have, you know, feelings of trauma and anger or whatever from our childhood? Or when we look and reflect back on our childhood, you know, is there a good feeling about it? Are there good memories? Or how our childhood has shaped us into adulthood. And so this week, you may have a lot of memories come back up. You may have a lot of feelings of nostalgia, feelings of the good old days when life was simple and all you did was, eat popsicles in the summer, run and play outside. You may be reflecting upon a simpler time in your life. And that may be because perhaps this week, or maybe this summer, or maybe in the weeks to come, you maybe have experienced stress or just a lot going on. And it's that feeling of, man, I remember when I was younger, like, I always used to say, I can't wait till I'm grown. And now I'm grown, and I just wish I didn't have all of these responsibilities and all of these challenges that is up to me to solve. And so the Six of Cups is really encouraging you in some ways to reflect on your childhood, but even more so than your specific childhood, reflect on that inner child within you that just wants to be nurtured. This may be a week where you just need to nurture yourself. You need to give yourself a little bit of break. You need to, just allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to feel joy. Allow yourself to do simple childlike things. Go skip through the park. Go to the park, play play double dutch, or just, all those childhood games that you maybe used to do when you were younger. Make sure that, maybe you just need to spend time doing that, because a lot of times when you are growing up, when you are an adult or you're entering into adulthood, you are faced with so many, even sometimes just decisions. Like I told somebody the other day, I said, I just don't even want to have to make any decisions today. Like, I'm tired of just I think, and it was something simple like what to eat or something. I can't even remember. It was something real trivial. And I was like, I'm just tired of thinking today. Like, so you may find yourself in those moments where you just don't want to have to think. Our lives are filled with constant decision making, having to do this, decide that, got to go to the grocery store, got to clock in, you were late, what time the TV repairman is going to be there, so who's going to be there to sign for UPS. It's just like a lot of decisions that come with adulting, right? And we can look back on our childhoods if we had a good childhood and say, wow, life was so much simple then. Or we can just have this feeling that we don't want to have to every single day just be burdened with so much. And that is okay. Sometimes it is just okay to press the pause button and just find simple pleasures in life. Watch a good movie and eat popcorn. Eat some ice cream. Go, like I said, double dutch, or go to a carnival or a fair or something like that. A theme park. Like, allow yourself to engage in some childhood activity, even if it's something as simple as coloring. Like, and it's funny that nowadays there a lot of companies have begun to make these adult coloring books, because it's like the antidote to the stress that a lot of adults feel, right? And so they started making adult coloring books specifically for grown people to just color, because that was one activity as a child that many of us really enjoyed doing. Like when you got that box of Crayola crayons or those color pencils, oh my gosh, and you got to just sit there and color. There was some type of, it relaxed the mind in a way, and it allowed your imagination to flourish. It allowed you to be a little bit more carefree. That's the word I'm looking for, to be carefree. This week you may yearn to be carefree. You may yearn to have moments of carefree. With this card does come the challenge of sometimes we look at our past through rose-colored glasses, like we forget all of that there were challenges even back then. Even if we look at our childhood challenges now, we say, gosh, I can't believe I was that stressed about that, because it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal at the time, and so, or maybe you went through something really major as a child, and that was very difficult. But a lot of times we look at the past as though everything was so wonderful back then. Even not only our own past that we lived, but the past of other people. It's so interesting that, pulling this cowrie shell, that, a lot of us who study, Black history, African American history and stuff, and we always glorify like our leaders and people of the past. And, because so much of our storyline has been told to us from a less favorable, less, beneficial, beautiful perspective. And so, of course, we want to glorify our own history and, make ourselves feel great and highlight the greatness of our past. But not everything and not everybody was great in the past, or we may even idealize certain time periods. So we may say, well, back in the day, we didn't have these problems that we see now. Yes, yeah, we did. We just didn't talk about them as much. Or there wasn't, a constant stream from the news and social media of every single thing that's going wrong in the world. So it's this feeling that everything is so wrong now, and the past was so pleasant and light and fun. And so you are also encouraged to look honestly at the past. Like, don't just over glorify the past, and when you're comparing it to your future, to your present moment. But understand that every past, whether it was your own or the past of your ancestors or whoever, had its high moments and its low moments. So really what you're looking for here with this energy is not so much to glorify the past and not so much to get stuck in the past, but to really get into the feeling of lightheartedness, the feeling of joy, of that childlike feeling. You may want to scrapbook this week, like pull out old pictures of yourself or your family and put them together in a book, and something that can be passed down through the generations of your family and your family legacy. So that may be an activity that you want to engage in this week or in the weeks to come. Because even though we're looking at this week, but you may be feeling this in the weeks to come. However, this applies to you specifically. But so this week, just get into the energy of being childlike and not immature. Don't throw all your responsibilities away, but just remember to enjoy life, the simple pleasures. Everything doesn't have to be big and major for you to like it and to enjoy it. Engage in simple pleasures, and like this guy's doing. He's just giving a cup filled with flowers, to his, I guess, his little sister. I don't know. I got a whole story for these people in my mind. Anyway, he's just something joyous for him to do and something sweet to do. So, maybe something as simple as that, or maybe give yourself some flowers, or give your grandma some flowers, or, just do something very simple that just brings you joy this week. All right. And so the goddess card that you received is Sophia. So let's see what wisdom Sophia has for you. What does she say? One second. So the empowerment message for Sophia is: human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is unknown to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from a source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it is often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show you how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere. Your life begins to work out, and you sense your alignment with a higher purpose and power. Trust you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in co-creating your world. All right, and so the alignment message for that Sophia gives, and the alignment message is if you find yourself out of alignment or out of balance with wisdom this week, here's what you need to know. When you are disconnected from your higher power, you begin to believe that you are alone. You alone are the source of abundance in life. It is wise to commit to a conscious and deliberate daily connection to a higher power. When you forget to do this, you may place way too much attention on materialism, work, money, goals, and the like. The goddess Sophia reminds you that it's the spiritual aspect and the invisible aspect, the essence of your desires, that means more than the form. You may be mistaking something false for divine guidance right now. It's time to come back into alignment and receive true divine guidance, divested from wishful thinking or ego attachments. Opening to the wisdom of the mystery of the universe is your alignment task right now. Let the goddess Sophia guide you to your magic. The most meaningful and beautiful expression of yourself is waiting for you now. So that is really, really beautiful, how these two are working together. You know, the Six of Cups being, that nostalgic feeling. On one hand, going back into your childhood or into that childlike, remembering the goodness of just being carefree in life. And with that comes wisdom, because children don't worry about how things will be taken care of. Children don't feel like they have so many decisions to make and everything is falling apart, and they don't know. They're not bombarded with the things that we are as adults for the most part, right? And so children are carefree. They can be free to just play and enjoy life because they know that all is good. They know that all is well. They trust that food will be on the table, a roof will be over their head, they will have the clothes that they need. They don't worry in the same way that adults do, because a lot of times children are much more connected to divine wisdom. Like, what did Jesus say? Being like a child. Be like a child. So that's on one end of it. But if you're out of alignment and you start, reflecting on your childhood or the past in general as if it's all good and now it's all miserable, or you get too connected to thinking that all of your good, what did the message say? Thinking that you place too much attention on materialism, work, money, goals, and the like. And so you're thinking, in order to be happy and carefree, it can only come from your work, and when you have a certain amount of money and all of that kind of stuff, and you are disconnecting from the source, from wisdom. Because however you connect to source, whether it's from your higher self, your ancestors, God, however you personally define that for you, if you get disconnected from that, you'll start to think that it's all in your hands, and that you won't see yourself as the co-creator with that. So then you'll actually be blocking those blessings from coming to you. So the wisdom then is that this week that you have to really create a daily practice of connecting to your higher self, to God, to source, to your ancestors, making sure that you are doing those small rituals throughout the day, whether it's just meditation or serious prayer, whatever it is that you do, so that you realize that you do have something within you already that is willing to provide for you, always ready and available to provide for you, not only your material wealth, but your emotional wealth. The cups deal with emotions, the things that bring you emotional fulfillment and joy. You can have joy in the here and now. It doesn't have to only exist in the past or from some people from a long time ago. It belongs to you now. All right. So that is the wisdom that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you click the link below to book your own personal reading. And again, I appreciate you tuning in to this reading here. Until we speak again, I'm wishing you so much peace and love. All right, so thank you so much for tuning into this week's Pick a Card. I hope that something you heard here today has been a blessing to you, either today or throughout the week. Make sure that you click the link below to book a personal reading. You can also purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love. And you can also leave a donation at that same link. When you click on it, just scroll down and you can access PayPal or Cash App if this general reading has been a blessing to you in any kind of way. Thank you so much for watching. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love.